on this earth and in the hereafter as well. And so this is one aspect of the Muslim life we all have to be aware of. You cannot refuse to accept the truth by simply rejecting a part of it and following one part of it. Pay very good attention to al-qabul, acceptance. A lot of times this is where the problem is, because now whatever is in the Quran we all tend to agree, right? It is usually what is in the hadith that Muslims have a problem with. And really it comes because they really don't know how the hadith were put together and the kind of work that was put into bringing about that literature to all of us and to follow that. Because even if you look at the Sharia, what are the sources of Sharia? Does anybody know? What are the sources of the Sharia? Where does our Sharia come from? Huh? What's that? The Quran. What else? The Hadith. What else? Qiyas. What else? Okay, so these are the sources then of the Sharia, right? And the ulama do not agree on something that maybe doesn't derive from the Quran and Sunnah. The ulama are dealing with issues that may be unique and new and different that may not have been during the time of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that they have to decide on. Is stem cell research allowed in Islam? Can you harvest embryos and do research for the purpose of benefiting human life? The ulama have had to deal with these difficult issues, right? In the case of war, like in the case of Bosnia, you know, where there was a lot of Muslim women that were raped, by the way, and became pregnant. Is abortion allowed for such women, right? They dealt with these difficult issues that were perhaps not common during the time of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that now are becoming issues of the day, you know. Can a man and a woman who do not have a way to have a child because maybe there is a problem either on the woman or the man's side, can you do embryo fertilization in a tube and then implant that in the woman who is the wife and carry that baby to term? Can you? The ulama dealt with that also as well. What do you think? What do you think? You are studying in the universities, biology and physics and all these things. Let's say you're married and you cannot have a child. And maybe the tube of the woman is blocked. The egg cannot travel down to the uterus. What happens? And you go to a doctor and the doctor says, you know what? Our technology is so advanced. It is very easy for us to solve this problem by simply taking the sperm from you, the husband, the egg from you, the woman, fertilize them in the lab, and then implant them back in her uterus. What do you think? Acceptable?
There's no evidence from the Quran, I think, and Sunnah that says no.
Good. There is no evidence that says no. Is this zina?
Based on our knowledge.
No. Is it zina? No. Okay, so it goes back to the definition in fiqh, what is zina? And zina is a deposition, literally in fiqh, of a sperm that doesn't belong to the husband of that woman in her womb. But the sperm is coming from the husband of that woman. You see? So it's not zina. You see how the ulama, they look at these things? And so, you know, then they can put that in the Sharia. They can agree. Yes, in vitro fertilization from the same man and woman who are married legally is okay. Right? It becomes now part of our ways, you know, and you see, so the ulama, they have to deal with all these things, right? So anyway, it requires a deep knowledge and profound knowledge about Islam and the knowledge of this world about many other things. Now, an alim in the Quran and Sunnah and whatever, who may not understand the science, how it works, then they consult with the people of science and say, you know, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. You've heard that famous story of Ibn Uthaymeen in Mecca, about his story where he said, everything, this Quran, ما فرطنا, this Quran has not left anything out, right? This is an interesting story. So a man went to him and said, not everything is in the Quran. He said, yeah, everything is in the Quran. He said, well, for example, the Quran doesn't say how to cook rice. How do you cook rice? It's just a silly example he gave, right? He said, yeah, even that is in the Quran. Let me show you. He said, hey, go and call so-and-so. And this man was summoned and he came. He's a chef, he's a cook. So he asked him, how do you cook rice? Oh, the man said, okay, that's easy. Well, you just take water and you boil it, and you take rice, you put it in, you put your salt, you put this, He said, there you go. That's how you cook rice. He said, but that's not in the Quran. He said, yes. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. I didn't know how to cook rice. I asked someone who knew. See? So Islam encourages that. You might not know everything. You will go and ask the people who know that, right? So, anyway, this is the condition. We want to move quickly, inshallah. And I just want to re-emphasize and turn in repentance, in obedience with true faith. This true faith, this true faith means that it's the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the kalima of tawheed is the shahada, of course. The fourth condition is submission, which is al-inqiyad, which is compliance. Now, this also sounds similar to al-qabul, acceptance. But that means you have accepted that. This is the actual physical enactment of the action, right? For example, you have accepted now, that during my tawaf from Rukun Yamani, from the corner of Yemen, to the Hajar Aswad, to the black stone, I'm supposed to say this and this and this and that when I go around. There are specific things you say when you go around the Kaaba in your tawaf, in your Umrah or Hajj, for example, right? Now that you have learned that, you have accepted it, al-qabul. But then there's al-inqiyad, now you put it into effect. You actually do that action now. So it's just not a matter of accepting. I accept that this is what is supposed to be done. But when you come to that moment, then you actually do that particular action. And it comes from this ayah again, which we don't have time, I'll just translate it very quickly. And who can be better in religion than the one who submits his face to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, following the religion of Allah, and he is a muhsin. This is something that I need for you to keep in mind when it comes to al-inqiyad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also made it a condition of our faith, where we submit to the commands of Allah and of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam.